It's the Nobel season, and some of the brightest minds have received well deserved recognition for their laborious contributions to humanity. Every October, I look in awe at the crowning achievements of human curiosity, human intellect, and human perseverance. Some of these stories and discoveries have been decades in the making, one giant standing on the shoulders of another, until we finally see the light over the wall. A story unfolds, a mystery sheds its cloak, and we all rejoice. That is what the Nobel Prize celebrates. But this year, while watching the laureates being announced, a question crept into my mind. If a machine made a world changing discovery on its own, could it ever win a Nobel? We all thought that humans were essential to making these discoveries, but what if that changed? What would that mean for all of us? Knowledge is a convoluted labyrinth. Every discovery opens another hallway, another question. Humans move through this maze clumsily, curious, emotional, but slow. But that chaos is exactly what makes us creative. We hit a dead end and we chase other paths, open other doors that often lead to even more doors and questions. This innate curiosity drives us to discover and decode devious problems. We fumble, but make our way through steadily. Now, in that same maze, something else moves. Swift, tireless, methodical. Artificial intelligence doesn't get tired, it doesn't dream. It opens doorways that would take human minds decades of futile effort. But here's the thing, humans have coded the machines. We've trained it to solve the maze better than we ever could. So the question isn't whether AI can solve the maze better than us, it is whether it can do it on its own, without human intervention. Can it think by itself, like humans do, to make these discoveries? We like to think that a sacred line separates human and artificial intelligence. Machines compute, humans think. But some scientists argue that our minds are, in essence, computers, biological machines processing information, turning stimuli into insight. If that's true, then maybe there's no magic separating human thought from artificial thought. Maybe discovery itself is just computation, whether it happens in neurons or in silicon. But there's one crucial difference. Humans just don't process data, we experience it. We care about what we find. We wonder what it means and what it changes. A machine may find every pattern in the maze, but it doesn't know that the maze exists. It never stops to ask why. Take AlphaFold for instance. For over half a century, biology had one of its deepest mysteries, the protein folding problem. Proteins are the microscopic engines of life. They build your skin, digest your food, and even fight your infections, among other things. Each protein starts off as a chain of chemicals, and the way that chain folds into a 3D shape decides what the protein does. The catch? Predicting that shape was nearly impossible. Even with powerful computers, scientists could only solve about 170,000 protein structures in over 50 years of work. Then in 2020, DeepMind's AlphaFold 2 arrived. It used deep learning to predict protein structures with astonishing precision. Within a year, it had generated over 200 million protein models, essentially mapping nearly every protein known to science. What had taken generations of human effort, a machine achieved in months, earning AlphaFold creators Demis Hassabis and John Jumper the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for 2024. The ripple effects have already begun. New targets for treating malaria and cancer, enzymes that could break down plastics, and tools that are reshaping drug discovery itself. It's hard not to see the magnitude of a Nobel-level discovery there. Except, AlphaFold doesn't know it changed the world. It didn't wonder, hope, or celebrate. It just calculated and walked deeper and deeper into the maze. Humans don't move through knowledge efficiently. We get lost, we chase ideas that go nowhere. We feel doubt, frustration, and even wonder. But sometimes, in those wrong turns, we stumble upon something truly new. When we discover it's not just an update to knowledge, it's an update to ourselves. Vaccines changed how we see mortality. Electricity rewired civilization. Every discovery leaves a human fingerprint on the future. So, if a machine ever makes a discovery, one that changes everything, what then? Who bears the meaning? Who carries its consequences? If there's no human story behind it, does the discovery even belong to the world in the same way? Maybe someday an AI will uncover a law of physics that redefines our understanding of the universe. It will do it quietly, without intention or emotion, because that's what it's built to do. And when that happens, we'll be faced with something strange, a truth discovered by something that doesn't understand truth, a breakthrough without a story. That's when the question will stop being, can AI win a Nobel? And become, what does a Nobel even mean when the discoverer feels nothing? The Nobel Prize has always been a mirror, reflecting our need to celebrate meaning, not just mastery. Will we still rejoice that October or be terrified because we do not know what this means? A line we thought sacred will have been forever erased. If AI ever makes a discovery so profound it reshapes life, we might give it the prize out of awe, but the deeper story will still be ours. Because machines can make discoveries, but only humans can decide what they mean. And perhaps that's the last thing that separates us. Not the ability to know, but the burden of knowing what comes next. But then again, what do I know?